and that the ombudsman should have resolved the Remulla cases on its merits. Do you think that Secretary Remulla can ever be fair in deciding the cases against himself?
Pag sinabi po nating rule of law, this is the guiding post. When somebody affirms that sometimes we can bend the law, or the JBC took that very lightly, Mr. Justice?
No, Your Honor,
Nako, wala ho tayong maraming pag-uusapan dito sa video na to. Dumako ho muna tayo dyan sa Commission on Appointment. Kinwestiyon ho nitong si Senator Rodante Marcoleta at nitong si Imee Marcos Manggagamit, itong si Justice Mendoza, kung bakit napasama ang pangalan nitong si Boying Remulla dyan sa shortlist ng JBC. Pero bago ho yan mga kababayan, kung bago lang ho kayo sa PH Update, isang like at isang subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan. At sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button nandyan lang ho sa baba. At sa mga nahihirapang mag-subscribe, scan nyo lang ho yung QR code na yan para kayo ho ang pinakaunang makakita sa ating mga reaction video. 998,000 subscriber na ho tayo. 2,000 na lang. Palakpakan ho tayo mga kababayan. Sa katunayan ho niyan meron na hong nagpadala ng regalo. Di ho natin alam mo. Regalo ho siguro yun, no? Dahil magwa 1 million subscriber na tayo. Anyway, maraming salamat ngayon pa lang. Pero magme-mega love shoutout ho tayo pagka 1 million na tayo, syempre. Doon na tayo magme-mega love shoutout, no? Lahat ng magko-comment ng live doon sa ating live pagka magla-live tayo para sa ating 1 million celebration. Syempre, may mega love shoutout na natin kaagad yan, ika nga. Pero ngayon pa lang yung mga mga kasamahan natin dito sa PH Update, nako, medyo matagal-tagal ho tayong hindi nagme-mega love shoutout, kaya naman sigurado natambakan na ho tayo dito mga kababayan. Sino pa ba yung mga nagpapakulay dito? Naku, si Sir Herbiscal 3 days ago, si Ma'am Raspberry, ditong si Matador TV, itong si Sir Raymond Federico Picar, nasa na itong si si Sir Jordan Cabico. Nasa na to si Ma'am Ma'am Ariza yan. Ma'am Ariza yan, ano na nangyari? Ano na nangyari, madam? Long time long time. Hindi, nandiyan lang yan. Silent viewers siya. Baka nasa bakasyon siya. Sino to? Leonila Davis. Leonila Davis, mega love shoutout. Ingat ho kayo dyan sa UK. Ito na mga kababayan, punta ho tayo sa Commission on Appointment. Ito, pagtatanungin itong si dito, si Justice, Justice nga kasi to. Tuloy na ho tayo.
Justice Mendoza, please stand and raise
Justice
your right hand.
Mendoza.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding, so help you God?
yes, Your
Nako.
Honor.
Mr. Chair, Justice Mendoza is now under oath.
Yan, under oath na siya.
Justice
Ano man
Mendoza, sir, you may give your opening statement if you have any.
Good morning, Your Honors. I am Jose Catral Mendoza, a retired Justice of the Supreme Court. On October 25, 2017, I was appointed by the President as member of the Judicial and Bar Council, representing the retired justices of the Supreme Court on an ad interim basis. My first term expired on July 9, 2021. On the same day, I was reappointed to the same position. On July 18, 2025, after the expiration of my term this year, I was again reappointed. So this is my third term, if confirmed by your body. As in the case of my first two appointments, my latest reappointment is subject to the confirmation of this body, the Commission on Appointments. Hence my presence here. I believe that I have the necessary qualifications and experience for the position to which I have been reappointed. Primarily, before my original appointment for the JBC in 2017, I served the judiciary for 36 years. 8 years as a research attorney in both the Court of Appeals and later in the Supreme Court. 15 years as a regional trial court judge, 6
Ba?
years as a
Magaling
Court of
to si ano,
Appeals
ah.
Justice, and 7 years and 8 months as a Supreme Court Justice. Before that, I was engaged in the practice of law for about 8 years. So I also have the view of an advocate. For the record, I must say that I was trusted and appointed by several presidents. I was first appointed by President Corazon Aquino as RTC Judge of Santa Cruz, Laguna. By President Fidel Ramos as RTC Judge of Quezon City. By President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo as Court of Appeals Justice and as Supreme Court Justice. By President Rodrigo Duterte as JBC member representing the retired justices of the Supreme Court, and by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. when he reappointed me last July 18, 2025. With my experience as a practitioner, judge, justice, and JBC regular member, I believe I can really help the Judicial and Bar Council in its critical task of selecting for nomination the best and the brightest of the candidates for judicial positions. For members of the judiciary, no less than the Constitution provides that a member of the judiciary must be a person of proven competence, integrity, probity, and independence. I believe I can gauge what a good judicial aspirant is based on his academic and professional record, experience, integrity, impartiality, and judicial temperament. As this is my third term, I can report to this body that as of the latest data, there are a total of 2,893 judicial positions nationwide. Of these, 612 positions are currently vacant, reflecting a 21.15% vacancy rate across the judiciary. Included in this number are 100 vacant positions for judges at large. Of the 612 total vacancies, 348 are published vacancies in both organized and unorganized courts. Among these published vacancies, 151 have been processed by the JBC and now have corresponding shortlist submitted to the President, to the Office of the President. This consists of 145 lower court positions, 2 associate justice positions in the Court of Appeals, and 2 associate justice positions in the Sandigan Bayan. These positions are now simply awaiting presidential action. The remaining 197 published vacancies are still being processed by the JBC. Of these, 165 are lower court positions, currently in the applicant vetting stage with a total of 883 applicants undergoing evaluation. The other 31 positions pertain to vacant Sharia courts, with Office of the Court Administrator recommendations for opening. Beyond these published vacancies, there are 264 judicial positions that remain unpublished, representing courts that have to be opened for application or nomination. From January to December 2024, the JBC received a total of 2,262 applications for various positions. Of these applicants, 894 were male, while a significantly higher number, 1,368, were female. Meanwhile, among 262 judicial positions appointed during the same period, 108 appointees were male, whereas 154 were female. This appointment distribution further demonstrates that judiciary's commitment to promoting gender balance and empowering more women to serve on the bench, contributing to a more diverse and representative justice system. Thank you very much. That will be my initial statement and report.
Thank you, Mr. Justice. The floor is now open for questioning. If there be any. Senator Marcos.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Justice, and welcome to the Senate and the Commission on Appointments. My first question is very simple. Is the
Yeah.
exercise of the JBC's functions of shortlisting candidates for the judiciary ministerial? Is it merely ministerial, or does it involve judgment and discretion?
Ako na sasagot, ministerial lang. Kumbaga ano lang, ito yung galing sa Malacanang, ito yung mga listahan, yung mga kaalyado lang ni Marcos Jr., yung mga makakapagsalba kay dito kay Bangag, kung sakaling umaupo itong si BP Sara, yung mga magiging kakampi niya sa 2028, di ba? Yun lang naman, yun. Ngayon, kung ikaw hindi ka malabong ipagtanggol mo o magpapakasangka pa nga kay Marcos Jr. Kasi importante dito, hindi lang basta mahusay, hindi lang basta kaalyado. Dapat marami ring ginawang katarantaduhan dito sa administrasyon na to. Ang magiging ombudsman, ito ang pinaka number 1 criteria, kasalo ng administrasyon ni Marcos Jr. na gumawa ng katarantaduhan ngayong mga panahon na to. Kasi kung halimbawa hindi siya kasama tapos magiging ombudsman siya, ano pat magiging ombudsman siya? Di pagka tinusta si Marcos Jr., hindi naman siya kasama sa mga issue. Pero pagkakasama siya sa mga katarantaduhan, talaga namang iga nga paldong-paldo sa pagsuporta dito kay Marcos Jr. sa susunod na 3 taon ng administrasyon itong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Ang nasa utak nila, 2028, 29, 30, 31, bababa na si Boying bilang ombudsman. Siguro ano na siya noon, wala na siya. Diba, malamang nakalimutan na ng mga kababayan natin itong mga flood control. Matagal-tagal kasi 6 na taon ba naman, di ba? Yun ang iniisip nila ngayon. Tignan nyo nangyayari dito sa issue ng issue nitong flood control. Di ba? Unti-unti pinapababa lang nilang emosyon ng ating mga kababayan. Nagkaroon ng napakatinding pagbaha sa mga nakalipas na linggo. Hindi na ganoon katindi ang dating sa ating mga kababayan. Ito ang ini-aim ng administrasyon nitong si Bangag. Ito lang ho talaga. Ika nga, bumaba ang emosyon, dahan-dahan, tapos balik na naman sila sa pagnanakaw nila. Ganun lang naman ho yan.
Your Honor, it involves judgment and discretion.
Nako, judgment and discretion.
With respect to the disqualification, there are automatic disqualifications if you have pending cases. But when you meet the criteria and you're not disqualified, then discretion comes in. There are so many factors to be considered by a member in considering an aspirant. Is not only his bar rating, his academic records are also looked into, his experience as a professional, the honors, the awards he garnered, his reputation also, his integrity,
Thank
and
you.
his record.
Thank you very much, Justice. In other words, the JBC is not a mere rubber stamp. Is that correct? I mean, its job is not merely to ensure that it ticks off all the requirements or deletes in the case of disqualifications. So otherwise, the Constitution wouldn't require such stringent qualifications for one to become a JBC member. Isn't that correct, Paul? Isn't it, though, before applicants should have already qualified on the last day of the application. I heard this is the practice for regular applicants for the judiciary, the RTC. Why change it for some people? Why does the JBC
Yeah.
keep changing its rules? Does the JBC favor someone? Why qualify an applicant on the very last day of final deliberations? I refer to the case of Attorney Logan, who was only issued an ombudsman clearance on October 6th, the same day the shortlist was released and sent to the office of the president due to two pending ombudsman cases. Why were the rules suddenly changed in her favor?
Actually, Your Honor,
Nako,
in
hirap.
when we
Ano?
publish
Sige lang. Magpalusot kayo. Maraming bata ata si Marcos Jr. dyan sa dyan sa dyan sa Judicial and Bar Council eh. Nako.
the announcement inviting applicants for the we invite the public to report, to comment, to endorse or oppose the applications of those listed applicants. Not all submit their oppositions on time. There are those who submit their clearances when they apply. There are those who reserve their or they ask for time to submit their clearances. And after that, there are also oppositions, complaints against the applicants. And in our experience, most of the complaints they have they're not that serious as to disqualify a candidate. So we consider every opposition, we ask them to comment, to comply with the due process requirement of the Constitution. So they are asked to comment. The last day, because of our experience of complainants or oppositors filing their complaints and opposition during the last week or the last few days of the final deliberation, we deem it unfair if we will automatically disqualify them. So we
Justice.
have to study if the matter is very serious or not.
Yes, Justice, but you made mention of a list of absolute requirements, which contains, among others, a clearance of the ombudsman. Surely that doesn't require an oppositor to file with the JBC. Surely that is of note. Why was Attorney Logan considered, given that the ombudsman clearance was only given on the same day, yesterday, when the shortlist was given? The deadline had long passed. Why is the JBC changing its rules to favor certain people?
Nako.
It's still within the rules, Your Honor. Before the voting, they should, if they can submit a clearance, they can be qualified and can be
Even on the same day po.
same day.
Because they're given to understand that the required documents are supposed to have been submitted in September, as is usual with regular judges in ordinary courts.
Yes. Sir. With respect to judges, we have considered it to be the last day because there are so many good judges.
So there's a distinction po.
When
The
they are-
ombudsman is special and regular judges have to comply with the rules.
No, they have the same qualification if they have a
But
pending.
there was a deadline for the requirements to be submitted in September,
Yeah.
a deadline that was actually extended repeatedly.
Yes. It is on the last day of we call it the final deliberation. If they can submit a clearance, they can be considered with respect to
Several dates were given po. in
Yes,
September, I recall.
yes, Your Honor.
In any case, did you participate, given that you were reappointed twice? Did you participate in the proceedings in the shortlisting of the ombudsman candidates po?
Yes, yes, Your Honor, because
Nako.
my appointment was ad interim.
So, given the two appointments, you in fact participated. So we are very curious about the occurrences with regard to the JBC shortlisting yesterday. It is very clear that the JBC requires that an applicant should have no pending administrative or criminal case before any office, considering that Secretary Boying Remulla was included in the
Nako.
list of nominees, despite having pending cases and issues touching on propriety. Would you agree that such inclusion may cast doubt on your council's adherence to the constitutional requirement of recognized probity and independence?
We were aware of that. Senator Pangilinan was there, and Congressman Luistro was there when we considered the first issue of whether a candidate is disqualified or not. So in the case of-
Binanggit na niya yung mga pangalan. So, Imee, dapat naiintindihan mo na dyan, sa pagbanggit ng pangalan nitong si Sher, nandun si Kong Pangilinan, mga kababayan. Doon na pala tayo nagkanda-hendot-hendot sa presensya ni Pangilinan at nitong si Luistro. Nagkabistuhan na.
Secretary Remulla, he was able to submit clearances from the ombudsman. And then we checked the JBC rules, and in the JBC rules regarding disqualification, if you have a pending case with the ombudsman, you will be disqualified. But if there is any other administrative case before any other government agency, it will be subject the discretion and evaluation of the individual members. It is only, I do not know why the administrative cases of pending before the ombudsman are different from the other agencies, but that is the rule. And
But surely you're aware that the pending cases were not merely administrative, but in fact criminal. And we can hardly say that recognized probity is in fact upheld.
Mr. Honor, that is, we are aware of that, but he was able to obtain a clearance. So,
As a matter of fact, some of these cases arose before Secretary Remulla made his intentions known that he intended to become ombudsman. Is this a person of recognized probity? Also a lifelong politician? Is this a person of recognized independence?
the voting yesterday was in secret, it was confidential. We do not know the members who voted for him and the member who did not vote for him. So may we